Hi there.
Hi guys.
So we're live again. Who are you?
It's Walt
and Sheila, and
look.
it's all about healthy recipes served up on Livliga, and we still have the reverse aprons. So
we're working on it. We just haven't gotten it figured out yet.
I think there's an app we can download maybe
That's
at some point.
I think we just found out. Yes.
So,
but if anyone could give us advice and tell us how to flip us around so we're not backwards.
We're always needing advice.
Yeah, we will take it.
Good counsel for all of you guys out there.
I'm going to turn this on.
Oh, yes, someone's there. Hello, welcome. Please let us know where you're hailing from. So we say hailing specifically today because we're in the midst of a severe thunderstorm, and it's raining cats and dogs and hailing. So hopefully the power stays on. Yes, and we have 2 puppy dogs, so who knows what kinds of noises they'll be making in the midst of our healthy recipes served up on Livliga.
Right.
But bear with us. Hopefully nothing strange like the lights will go out or anything. But
or the thunder doesn't get too loud.
It's pretty exciting out there.
Yeah.
It's very green, which could be good or bad. Where we come from in Kansas City, growing up, if it was green, it was a bad sign. Here, though, it's spring in Colorado, so I'm hoping it's a little more vibrant, since we live vibrant in this Livliga world of ours.
Just a reflection of all the grass and green trees and all those great things. It's true.
So tonight, Walt and I are going to be focusing on burgers busting with flavor. To remind you all, we have recipes that are on our blog, Livliga Live Vibrant blog, and you can go to blog.livligahome.com to find them and just look up burgers, and we have a variety of burgers to choose from.
What are we doing tonight?
We are going to feature a turkey burger that actually has some yummy stuff in it. Normally, they're called like peppered watercress turkey burgers, but we're going to actually do it with spinach today. Some people think that watercress is a little peppery or it's kind of hard to find in the grocery store quite yet. And as the summer goes along, it's pretty easy to find. But honestly, I went to the grocery store yesterday to get everything.
And there was no watercress. But the trick is with turkey, it gets really solid if you just make a burger out of just ground turkey.
Is it kind of like leaden and hard and kind of like you could beat it with a mallet?
But we found out if you add something, whether it's arugula or spinach or watercress, it breaks it apart. It just makes it really tasty and fun, and the texture is just a lot better.
Oh, it's a lot better. And some folks have, are purists about their burgers and think beef, but the thing about it is I find that changing things up makes it healthier for us because we're not eating the same thing over and over again.
And it's good.
We talk about having some fun with backyard barbecuing. Turkey burgers are kind of a fun thing to introduce your friends and family to that can be really yummy tasting. This past month has been Mediterranean Diet Month, and Mediterranean diet's supposed to be really good for us. And I came across a delicious recipe that mixes in a little feta, a little onion.
It's Greek, right?
Yeah. Mediterranean can be Greek,
but
right?
But isn't that recipe? Aren't they Greek burgers?
Oh, I think it does have Greek in
Greek to me.
The title of it.
Yeah.
Yes. So actually, let me look at it, and I can actually show it to everybody. Greek flavored turkey burgers. There you go. And I also have tried out a tuna burger, and those are really good actually. And one of the things I try and do is think of things that we might have on hand and how you can then make recipes out of that. And the tuna burger kind of came across my mind because we tend to have tins or cans of tuna in our pantry, and so it makes for creating a handy dinner sometimes.
And to be able to do healthy, good, tasty things just out of the pantry is it's so great because it simplifies. It's that time when you've forgotten to go to the store, you don't have it, and yet those are things that are staples you can just keep in your pantry.
And I don't know about you guys, but we're starting to rev up about thinking about, even though we're in the midst of spring, of course, what do we do but think about the next season? Summer! And one of the things that I think a lot about is how not to make things complicated in the summer. I want simple. Yeah, you were going to say simple too, weren't you?
I was going to simplify. Summertime, simplify.
And make simple, fresh dinners that are tasty, that can be great, for two, can be great for family gatherings, backyard barbecues, or can also be things that you have friends over for dinner, you know. So,
and I was going to say that of the 3 recipes that you're talking about, one's tuna, one's turkey, and one's hamburger. And they're more and more.
Actually, they're 2 turkey.
They're 2 turkey.
I don't use any hamburger because the whole point is everybody knows hamburger.
Okay.
You know, as in beef, ground beef is what we're really talking about
exactly.
here. Yeah. And so I didn't. So actually, the Greek flavored and the peppered turkey burger
are
both
both
turkey burgers.
I know that. Now that you say that.
Sorry. And I actually wanted to bring up, because I did some research. I always, you know, this is my way of also learning.
We all
and reminding myself of kind of what I already knew, but maybe hadn't thought about for a while. And one of the things about people ask, you know, so is turkey really that much better for you than beef? And truth be told, actually,
the answer is no.
Simply put, the answer is no.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it would amaze me because when you looked for 93.7 ground hamburger, it's actually,
you have to come over here and be part of it.
What I read, what you found out, which was fascinating, was that there are both fewer calories and less fat.
Depending on the quality of the
because of the
meat.
Yes.
So actually, that's the lesson here, is that it's not an automatic that you have to look. And so if you buy a leaner meat, and if you buy more white meat for the turkey, it's also going to be drier, quite honestly. And that's why these kinds of recipes, if you're really watching and wanting to make sure you have the healthiest possible quality of meat when you're preparing, these recipes are actually very handy with turkey, because it can be the healthiest. It's just that a lot of what we buy in the grocery store sometimes, it's a mix, and so it's got the dark meat, which is a fattier meat.
Right.
What I got today was that, and so it's going to have a little more fat in it than if you just have pure white breast meat.
But again,
ground.
with just the meat like that, when it doesn't have as much fat, it gets really dense and dry. But again, that's where adding the spinach or any of the greens in it really breaks it up and makes it much more moist and really delicious.
So we're wanting to say hi.
Hi, guys.
I know that there are a few people out there, so let us know you're there, where you're hailing from. We're really delighted to let you know. Cynthia, hi! Thanks for being there for us. It's so nice to have a daughter who will actually participate. And,
wherever she may be.
Yeah, wherever she may be.
so
So thanks, Cynth. Really appreciate it. So here we are talking about having kind of a grilled dinner, having a simple kind of burger, bursting with flavor dinner. And one of the things that we talk about is I'm all about the meal too, and wanting to make sure that we know how to set ourselves up for success ahead of time in terms of planning a meal and in terms of making all parts of the meal healthy.
And ready at the same time.
Ready at the same time. So one of the things we're about to do is I love baked fries. Do you?
I do. They're good.
And fairly recently, we used to do plain old russet potato fries that were baked. And we love those. And then, of course, yours truly read that obviously sweet potatoes are even better for us. They're got a better glycemic quality to them as well. And so we now do sweet potato fries, and they're actually really pretty because the sweet potato, you know, is
and they're really tasty.
And so Walter is the greatest chopper in the whole wide world. So he's made some really pretty looking fries. Don't you agree? Don't those look like pretty good looking fries, you guys?
Hey, Daniel.
We put a tiny bit of olive oil. As you can see, these are pretty dry looking, which means we did not saturate them in oil. And then you'll remember maybe time before, maybe it was last time. I think it was the first time that I talked about Gale salts.
Oh, right.
Oh, one of my favorite things to use in the kitchen. I can give you guys the link again today. But I just sprinkled a little bit of it's herb de Provence with a tiny bit of salt. And so I sprinkled that on top. And now we're going to put those in the oven. I have learned that putting it at a higher degree actually crisps up, and this is particularly important for sweet potatoes.
And honestly, this is something we've learned over time because we've done roasted vegetables
forever.
And whether it's you can do it at 350, you can do it at 425, you can do sort of all these different things. But we recently found
what did we do?
At 4. Well, so we set it at 450, and about 25 minutes at 450 is really perfect.
And so that's what we're doing. So I just put the sweet potatoes in because they need to start ahead of everything else. and that's going to be one of the things that we're going to fix for dinner. This, as you know, we fix this and then we eat it for dinner. So for our dinner tonight, yes. Lucky man that you are.
I am. Sorry, Synth.
Yeah, we'll save you some. So we're going to have the pepper turkey burgers, and we're putting pepper out. Normally, Cynthia has dinner with us, and she doesn't like pepper, so we're going all out this time and putting lots of pepper on it. Sorry, Cyn. And so we're going to have peppered turkey burgers. We're going to have these baked sweet potato fries that are super easy to make and can be ready in 25 minutes. So again, for all of us who, you know, have jobs and are ready to come home and not work so hard, this is a super easy meal to make. And then what we do, but we can talk about other choices in terms of making an easy meal, but one of the things that we love to do with the turkey burger, because we're kind of setting you up, we're going to go through the turkey burger in a second, but what we love to do is just slice fresh tomato and fresh red onion. As you can see, they're simply slices. And then I also, on our blog, I also have a recipe, and actually I think on the website as well, which is livligahome.com. I have a recipe for a homemade Dijon vinaigrette that I love.
It's really
I actually
good.
am a firm believer in making my own dressings, because that way you can really control the sugar and the salt. You can make them your own.
And they're fresh, and they don't have any other taste in them. I mean, it really is.
You know, for some reason, for me, I don't know if you guys agree with this. Walter, I know, agrees with me, but the store-bought ones have like this bite to it. I think it's like maybe the preservatives or something, but there's always like this aftertaste. I just really don't like it, so I'm motivated to make my own. And salad dressings are truly something you can make at home. We'll have a session on that at some point.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I made, in my trusty little Dijon jar, I made my homemade Dijon vinaigrette. Put 2 tablespoons on this, so you again, you don't have to slather it.
And how do you do 2 tablespoons?
Oh! Am I delighted to tell you about Liv spoons and the 2 tablespoons. That makes it super handy to measure out and then drizzle over this. And so that's something you can add then to your burger once it's done and make it a pile and high delicious thing. Or you can use it as a side salad and not add it to the burger, or do both, because this is super healthy and something you can eat. You know, have a tomato slice on one thing and a couple of tomato slices for your
And sometimes you'll
salad.
add mozzarella in there too, and just
that can be really good, and especially summertime, because then I'm all about no cook meals and also no recipe meals. So things that you get down where you can keep them simple, and that's something that we can do with a burger, right? You can kind of put anything you want in a burger, being mindful that it's more about spices and more about texture with things like spinach and vegetables than it is about adding calories. There are...
Someone is suggesting we save any leftovers in Tupperware. I'm just saying, I'm not going to mention any
names.
I'm not mentioning any names, but I'm saying someone thinks it's a good idea.
Got it, Sid. We'll bring it down tomorrow. So the thing about the other recipes, the turkey burger, I tend to not want to add filler like breadcrumbs, but they do make it moist, and there are those folks who love that. But in this day and age, breadcrumbs are not really high on people's list just because of the carbs. And so one of the things I've learned in terms of healthy carbs that actually is also very filling, because that's another goal of mine, is to make sure that I feel satisfied and full at the end of a meal, is that I take rolled oats and I substitute that for the breadcrumbs. And what I do is I put them in my
either the
processor
or the Osterizer.
Oh, you can also use the blender. I tend to use the processor just because that's my gig. That's easier for me mentally. I don't know. But you grind it until it's powdery like a flour, and then you use that instead of your breadcrumbs. So there are many ways to substitute in this day and age.
And that's a gluten-free option.
It's totally gluten-free. Yeah. It's also a healthier carb. So even though it's a carb, as we know, oatmeal is a much healthier carb than something that's highly processed, because you're grinding it up, but you're not actually creating a different process.
Right.
So sorry, there was something on our phone here. So anyway, so we've got it set up. So we're going to have a burger. We're going to have the sliced the tomato with the red onion with a little bit of the Dijon mustard.
And some basil.
And the basil came out of our garden, you guys.
Fresh basil, freshly picked.
I'm just telling you, I love this time of year.
Grown.
It's a little early.
Yeah.
So we were careful in what we picked. And I think it's just so delicious.
But just by tipping, the little tips of the basil actually makes the plants get larger because, you're pinching them back. And so it was good. It's good for them. It's a good gardening tip, too. Yeah.
So here we are. We're going to go ahead and move into the burger because we've kind of set it up in terms of what we're fixing. We should say what we're fixing it on. We're going to serve it up on halsa today. So halsa is one of our beautiful patterns. It's a couple of things to mention about halsa because at the end we're always so concentrating on serving up the meal that we forget, is that these are all blue hues. And why is blue so good for us?
So blue has been found through research to be an appetite suppressing color.
Ooh, and that's, Rob, that's one of those big words that we use, appetite suppressing, just saying. Any opportunity I have to use it, I try. So, and why is that important? Because it helps us feel fuller faster with right-sized amounts of food.
Yes.
So that's halsa for you. And
part
again,
of the magic of Livliga.
Let's think about this. Where are all the goodnesses going to go? So we're going to have our salad right here, our vegetable. Then this yumminess right here is going to be both for our, since it's a burger, we kind of combine things. So it's going to be for the bun, and the burger part is the meat part here. And then this is for all the yummy sauce things that we're going to do, which is actually going to be plain yogurt and delicious Dijon mustard. So we also want to think about alternatives in terms of not always that ketchup that can be high in sugar.
And the other thing we may do is actually put our fries right there.
Oh, you know what? Salad. I forgot about the fries. The burger's going here, the fries are going here, the salad's going here, and the I'm so glad you're here. I mess things up all the time.
No, you don't.
So anyway, so there's our beautiful halsa to show you guys. And now let's get ripping and roaring on our turkey burger. So we're going to measure out, and again, super handy. I'm going to take 3/4 cup of our spinach because we're going to use spinach instead of, you could also use arugula. I got it and then I chickened out at the last minute just because I thought, spinach is something that's so good for us and something that everybody can easily have. Your favorite plate, thank you so much. And hi, Mary Kay. So nice to have you on board. So here is our 3/4 cup. And of course, we can be kind of generous with our spinach, right?
Yeah, you could even pack it a little bit more.
Yeah, we could. We could pack it. And then I, of course, got the organic kind. And again, I am somebody who I go to the regular grocery store. I don't go all over and make it complicated. Sometimes I do, depending on the ingredient.
And but for my spinach, to just like chop that up a little bit?
Yeah. Do you want to do that? I got one of our gorgeous knives out, so you could do that. That's very kind of you. And we're going to
knives. We love should.
We're going to plop that along with, I've measured out my 3/4 cup of plain yogurt. So again, every time that we've met with you, I've used this berry yogurt, not the same, one, but the same kind. And that's because yogurt is just so good for us. It's packed full of protein. And I love, you're going to tell me Faye?
Yeah, Faye, I think.
We use the Faye because it's zero fat, but it's got yumminess Greek yogurt. Oh, thank you for doing that.
Roughly chopped is what I'm trying to say.
So he's doing roughly chopped.
All over the place.
And we're going to put the yogurt in there. We're going to put the spinach in there, and then we're going to dump I have a pound of the ground turkey, and I got just the regular old, for us, we have King Soopers here, so I got the King Soopers. Sometimes I do splurge and get the fancier kind, but this was what was readily available at the grocery store yesterday, so that's what I got.
I've always mixed this up with my hand, but you're probably going to use this food.
Are you kidding? I'm using my hands.
Okay, well,
plus it's satisfying. It's sort of like gardening and getting your fingers in the dirt. I sort of feel with cooking, getting my fingers in it, there's something really yummy and satisfying about it. Do you guys agree? Hi there, Pam. Thanks for joining from Albuquerque. So we've got, what do we have? The yogurt, we've got the spinach, we've got the...
what are the two swirly things on the spoons?
the swirly things on the spoon.
Oh, I think maybe she's talking about the double bend.
Oh, thank you for asking about that. That's so that you can hook it on the side of a bowl or a pot, and so it doesn't make the countertop messy after you've used it. And you can also hold things there, because I use them when I'm cooking, as you can see. And sometimes you're not quite ready to use something, but it may be liquidy, and so you can just hook it on the side of the bowl until you're ready to mix it in. So I love them. So we're also going to put a little salt in here. I'm putting half a teaspoon of salt.
What kind of salt do you use?
You know, I'm a firm believer, and as you know, basically an only believer. I use a lot of sea salt, but that's at the very end on something. But if I'm actually integrating something into a recipe, I only use kosher salt. It's molecularly different, and so it actually is tastier to our taste buds. So I'm a firm believer in that. It's something that not everybody knows about. And then we're going to do, let's see, is this a teaspoon, I think, or half a teaspoon also of Worcestershire. This just kind of punches up the flavor a little bit with the turkey. You know, turkey is kind of a bland, I hate to say it, but I mean, it is tasty, but in a burger, it's pretty, because it has, the fat tends to be the taste in a lot of burgers, and when you have something that's low fat, then you got to kind of add other flavors to kind of punch it up. And so speaking of punching it up, okay, here we go, Sin. We're putting in the pepper. So we're going to put in a half teaspoon of pepper, and then we're going to put a half teaspoon around the burgers once we do them. So again, depending on your palate, but you know, things that spice up our metabolism are really good for us. And so that can be a real plus. So I think I've done everything we're supposed to do here. And now I'm plunging my fingers into this, and Walt's going to tell the story behind our making burgers ring.
So when I was growing up,
hold it up and show it to him. Show him
my
what it
grandfather was quite an inventor and a great problem solver. And whenever we'd make hamburgers, he hated the fact that people were always making the patties by hand, and they were always a different shape and a different thickness.
I kind of hate that too.
So his solution was to take an old 1 pound or a brand new 1 pound coffee can, and with a saw, cut it off about a ½ inch thick. And so we have, and I still have lots of these, this is
never go away.
This is a Folgers coffee can that's cut, but it's great. And you can put the cut side down, and it has a nice rim on the top, so you don't cut yourself when you're making the patties. And it's a perfect size to make a consistently sized.
And basically, we're with this, we're gonna put it in fours and make the burgers that way. And so this is great. I mean, obviously you can get a ring. I highly recommend rings. You can get the plastic kind. This is sort of a recycle, repurpose philosophy that we have here. Plus, it's just the memories. Isn't it fun to have something romantic like this that's been in your family, has a family story that you use, and you know, it's...
And there may be some sort of plastic things. This is actually for eggs, but it's the same sort of concept.
Yeah, so I mean, you can grab one. They're pretty easy to find. Can you put that in the... Oh, you know what we need is a little wax paper.
Sure.
You mind?
Nope, got it.
And so we're going to form these so they look pretty. And Walt's going to actually turn on the grill, too, at the same time, I think.
Did that. It's warm.
Oh, yummy. And so we're going to try and make these nice and pretty and uniform so they come out and nobody's fighting over which hamburger looks bigger. Does your family do that too? Or do you do that with yourself? I'll eat the bigger one tonight and the smaller one for lunch. So, are you coming soon?
I am. And Mary Kay may be one of the few people on who knows my grandfather, of whom I speak, who created the first ring.
So, honey, you're being way too patient.
Okay,
just come.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Ooh.
So, we're going to get the ring here. We're going to form the burger. And I mean, it was that easy, right? I mean, that took me, how many, half a second to, I mean, the hardest part was chopping up the spinach. So, it is kind of messy, but oh, so satisfying. And so now we've got one burger done.
And we always do them on wax paper because it's so easy to move it around and it saves in one piece.
So one of the other fun things that we wanted to share is some of you may have noticed a posting that we did, but we're now our product now is being carried by Hilton Head Health, And so we just got back. So this was kind of one of those exciting times where we had to get ready for this, and just got back from
Hilton Head Island.
Yeah, Hilton Head Island in South Carolina. Has anybody been there before?
It's so beautiful.
There? Oh my gosh. It was a little rainy, but oh my gosh, so lush. It's so very different. We're in Colorado where it's a lot drier. My face just felt like it was getting a massage every day. It was so humid and delicious. So we were there and we're very excited, but we got to have classes with Chef Carla. So I think we're going to share you some tips from Chef Carla.
Yes.
And then we got to be with Bob, who's the director, the Healthy Lifestyle Director, and talk about portion control and healthy lifestyle and the tips that go into that. And it felt like old home week because we were with people who kind of live in this world that we live in, that all of us enjoy, that we're all trying to make something that is a great space as a community to live in, because we're having fun cooking together, we're having fun learning together, we're having fun sharing our tips and tricks of how to make it even easier to do it, and seasonal, so that we can have fun any time of year, so that we're having fun with friends and family, because part of it is a celebration every day. We love to eat. We love, Walt and I just celebrated our 36th wedding anniversary last week.
How about that?
Can you believe that?
36 years.
Smaller portions mean less dumping. You are so right about that, woman. There's all these realities in terms of how we manage our health, right? And given, what we're living with. And that's why, to me, it's so much fun as a community to share and swap tips and be able to figure out what works and what works better, and to really enjoy the moment.
Yes.
So are we ready to enjoy the moment?
We are.
Of cooking these burgers?
Normally, I would cook these on a grill outside.
Yes, you
but
would.
We were challenged in terms of figuring out how we were going to move the camera from inside to outside, and we didn't know it was going to be pouring down rain. So
instead, we survived that part.
We have a grill that I put on the gas range. I have sprayed a little bit of olive oil on it with Sheila's absolutely new favorite pan cooking spray.
Oh, thanks for remembering to highlight. Do you guys know about this?
But the problem is, having used it, I now have a little bit of smoke coming up.
Oh, yeah,
so I've now turned on the fan, but hopefully that's all okay, because otherwise,
you didn't do it too high, so that's good.
Yes, the
we
smoke
always,
alarms will go off, and we'll have all sorts of fun.
we've done that more than once.
So here are the burgers that Sheila's
prepared. Don't they look pretty?
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, simple as that.
Really
I mean, truly, this was easy. The hardest part was, well, actually, it's not hard for me to talk and do, is it? So I guess that wasn't very hard.
So I do a grill kind of a medium-high heat. And by doing that, when I put them on, they should sear. And one of the things that Chef Carla said when we were at Hilton Head was, in terms of, she was actually doing salmon for us in a pan, but she said the hardest thing when you put it in the pan on a medium-high heat is just let it be. Have no fear, let it sear. And the whole idea is,
don't you think that's a good motto to live by when you're grilling?
Let it sear. Thank you, Chef Carla.
Yeah. So we're ooh, that sizzle. Doesn't that sound good? Oh, you know what? I was supposed to put a little more pepper.
Okay, well, you do it on this side, and then you do it on this.
So we're going to put a little pepper on the top of each of these. Oh, these look so good.
And so I'm going to wait about 3 minutes. If I'm outside, my go-to is kind of 3 minutes on one side, 3 minutes on the next. Check them out, see what I think. And
Hi, Mike. Thanks for joining. Are you a grill guy? Do you like grilling too?
I bet he does.
I can imagine you might be. And also with family gatherings, burgers are such a great thing. And I did want to mention that we live in the land of many different healthy lifestyles, and so we have many friends with different eating choices, and one of them being vegetarian. And so early on, I learned to always have some extra firm tofu in the refrigerator, and I could either marinate it in just some soy sauce. First, you have to you press it dry because it doesn't grill very well unless you press it, but you can marinate it and then press it, or you can just add some spices to it. I love doing salt, pepper, and a little paprika. and then grill it on both sides, and then voila, everybody can have a burger that it can be piled high with all sorts of yummy vegetables
I'm
and
going to
things.
show here out of the way for a second.
Okay, sure.
So this is exactly 20 minutes into our 25 minutes of our
and they're
sweet potato
done.
fries, and they're perfect.
They're
I'm going to
done.
shake them a little
Shake
bit
'em. Yeah.
and turn it off.
I would, yeah, and I actually would almost put it outside of the oven because I think otherwise it'll get too dark. And this is dinner after all, so I don't want it to get too dark. But that's why I love learning about doing it higher, because it does crisp up the sweet potatoes. And if you're in a humid environment as well, just to continue to talk about the sweet potato fries for a second, you can dust potatoes with some cornstarch, which again is a gluten-free thing, and that will actually help crisp it up. So if you're really looking for a crispy fry, and dust it. Don't put a whole lot on it, or you'll end up eating cornstarch, and that's not what you're really trying to do.
So I am so tempted to turn and check, but I know I'm just
Are you being
I'm
firm
holding
about
back
this? Okay,
because
good.
I've got
Okay.
a whole more minute and a half.
Yeah. And so we're going to have the burger, and we're going to show how you can dress it up. And one of the things Walt's going to do after he does the turkey burgers is he's going to quickly grill the bun, because that's one of our choices. That's kind of the easy fail-safe choice. We do.
And then the other thing we're doing, no, not yet.
I was going to hold on for that.
Okay.
I was just going to talk about how we're going to wrap up the burger
Okay,
first.
3 options.
And so.
Am I doing 2 buns, just so I know?
Yeah, I would go ahead and do 2 buns.
Perfect.
That way we've got our choices going.
Yeah.
But you can do the bun, and one of the things I wanted to show tonight is that I find, excuse me for saying, but I find bun shopping a little difficult. And one of the reasons why is because if you go for whole wheat, they can be packed full of calories and actually sugar. So the problem is that just by virtue of something being something that sounds healthy, it's not necessarily the healthiest choice. So I actually spent a fair amount of time yesterday, because I wanted to be as informed as possible, to talk about buns. And I even did, looked at udis and looked at whatever, and unfortunately udis are so leaden. And my whole thing is, I don't want my experience to be the bun. If I'm gonna do a bun, I certainly love the texture of a bun. I love, it's such a historic part of my life, the burgers and barbecue kind of thing. But I want the bun to be the least prominent part of my experience. So those big, huge buns I no longer like. I like the smaller buns, and I don't want them to be so heavy that what I'm really experiencing is that kind of glutinous, heavy, cardboardy thing. So the other thing is the calories. Thank you for whoever liked that too. But what I found is that calorie-wise, you can end up being mindful of that, as well as the sugar. And this whole grain white from Oro Wheat has really been the best that I can find. And again, it's in my grocery store. We all have different choices. And so just because I say this doesn't mean it's the best choice for you or from your grocery store. But this has 140 calories in it, and it's just 4 grams of sugar. That was really the best I could find. And the sodium wasn't bad either. It was 230 mg. So I chose the Oro Wheat, and it does have some whole grain in it, but it's really more like a white bun, which many people might prefer anyway. I wanted to find the best, that had the best combination of things. So that's what I found. And then, and I love grilling them, so that, also when you add all the goodness, if you grill the bun, it kind of stays together a little longer better than if you don't. And I like grilled things anyway. The other choice, and it's something that we've come to love more and more as we've tried to limit our carbs, it doesn't mean we get rid of the bun. It just means that if we're just having a Tuesday night dinner, we don't necessarily have to have the bun. That may be more of our kind of weekend grilling outside with friends kind of thing. But the other thing that's great is I said Bibb lettuce, but you can use, I couldn't find Bibb yesterday, and again, I'm all about adapting and finding the best choice that's available. If I'm having a big party and I want that specific thing, of course I'll search to high heaven to try and find it. But this is something that comes prepackaged, it's been washed, it's ready to go, so it kind of makes it easy. And this is red romaine, So it's also pretty, and you know me, my philosophy is I don't want anything, oops, thanks, to not be the most beautiful thing. So when it goes on my plate, so look how big and broad that is. You know, that really can be perfect for what we're doing in terms of making a sandwich out of it. So you can use this for any variety of sandwich. You know, for lunch you can roll it so it ends up being a wrap. You can also just use it like it's a sandwich, and you can fold in the ends like that, so it it's more uniform if that is more appealing to you and a little sturdier. So
sturdy, you like it?
Yeah, sturdy's good. So we're going to get a couple of those out because we're going to show you a bun. We're going to show you that. And then you'll remember from a time before I talked about my favorite thing, new favorite thing, which is cloud bread, right? And cloud bread is really a perfect shape. Now, it's one of those things that you want to put together at the last minute if you're going to use cloud bread. It's pretty sturdy, honestly, and particularly if you put something like lettuce between it and the tomato and maybe your sauce, it'll hold together longer. But it's something you can't just put it together and let it sit for 15 minutes and have it work really well. You'll end up eating, you know, with your fingers. It still tastes good. But so those are kind of three choices we have for wrapping up your burger. And of course, you don't even need any of that if you just want the burger, because it's delicious on its own. And you want to have that and the salad and the fries. You have a really yummy dinner. So we have that, and then Walt was going to talk about how to finish off the meal. Some of us are very kind of finishing off the meal, dessert-oriented folks, but it's how to translate that into something healthy. And in the summertime, and really even now, because there are more and more fruits becoming available. Do you have a recipe for cloud bread, please? Yes, I do, Pam. Go to our blog. It's our Livliga, Live Vibrant blog. I'll also finish up this tonight and add some of these links, but you can go to that right now, which is blog.livligahome.com, and just search for cloud bread. And I posted that fairly recently because after the previous time I realized I hadn't yet posted those recipes. So I have 2 out of the 3 that I've kind of concocted, and I'll add the other one. But I have 1 sweet and 1 savory that you can try out. So hopefully you'll enjoy that. Yes, you're welcome, Pam. So, so the other thing is to finish up the meal with some fruit. And one of the fun things is you've already fired up the grill.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and actually we have a dear friend,
who is
David Dadone, who's originally from Argentina, and he and his partner Juan do these wonderful backyard outdoor dinners. And the first time we went, they had these platters filled with just grilled
wonderful
vegetables and fruit mixed in, and things
so it was
like
the first time
halves. Oh, sorry.
It was the first time I'd ever had a grilled avocado.
That was what I was about to
exactly.
say. You see, we both remember the
same
same
thing. It was the avocado. It was a grilled plum.
Oh my God, it was so
and
good.
peaches and just and maybe
Right.
even a mango. I mean, it was just it was amazing.
And they were split in half and then grilled, and even the avocado still had the skin, so you kind of scooped
So
it
I'm going to
out
go
of
ahead and
the
actually
skin.
cut one of these in half.
Yeah, so what Walter's going to show you is that we're going to do peaches. I know they're totally not in season, but I saw them and I smelled them, and they actually smelled like peaches, and I thought, well, this is kind of a fun summertime thing to show you. The other thing that's really fabulous grilled, you guys, I don't know if you've ever done it before, but fresh pineapple. Oh my God, if you want a treat in the summertime, and if you want to do something, hi, how are you, Diva? It's so good to see you, Bhagya. Here is pineapple, and if you just do a dollop, again, of any yogurt, but I, of course, like plain Greek yogurt. You can even do a drizzle of balsamic vinegar, or you can do a little bit of honey. Literally just a drizzle, just a dollop, no more than 2 tablespoons on that fruit that's been grilled. It is sheer heaven. And if you need a little more crunch, you can do literally a pinch of granola on top. And you have a sensational meal, complete with a dessert that's only healthy for you, that you can serve up on Livliga to all your friends and family and have an elegant meal outside, talking till, you know, who knows when, enjoying, you know, friendship, conversation, and good meals. So the other thing is, if you don't want to get that fancy, if you're tired and you just want to make sure you're, you know, providing a nice rounded meal, another thing we have in Colorado, of course, again, this is further on in the summertime, but we're known for our cantaloupe as well as our peaches. And I am a cantaloupe fiend. I love the taste of ripe cantaloupe. And so that's another thing. You can just cut that up, you know, do it in quarters or do it in 6, depending on, you know, how big of a finish to your meal you want. And it's as simple as that. You know, that with a little squeeze of lime is so delicious.
So what are the tricks of being on a grill and catching?
Oh, what happened? Were you alone in the kitchen, Julia?
Well, I was having just a little bit of a bite. Because there are 2 different burners and they're different sizes trying to get the grill even. So 2 of the burgers are perfectly done and look wonderful.
Ooh, they look good.
And the other 2 need about 2 more minutes. So
okay, and then
don't
forget the bun. Don't forget your buns. So, so we're, you know, getting close to the end. I don't know if anybody has any questions for us in terms of the meal, or wants to share some ideas that they have about their favorite burger that may be on the healthier side that they can share, or things they put in their burger to make it delicious. We're big on rubs and flavors, and it can be as simple as just coming up with a different concoction, you know, from turmeric and cumin in your turkey burger to, which can be so good. Little ginger and a little soy sauce. So the idea is that you can be a concoctor. You can put things in that aren't calorie dense, but rather flavorful and flavor dense, and really come up with some fun things that you can enjoy and diversify during the summertime, because that's another thing that I think is so important, is not to do the same thing over and over again, because I think it ends up engaging our palate. We end up enjoying our meals more if we end up with a variety of different ways that we prepare our meals, particularly if we're doing a burger. Why not try a turkey burger? Why not try a tuna burger? Why not try and make it, you know, styled like a Mediterranean Greek burger, and then, you know, have the challenge of coming up with a succulent, delicious turkey burger. Are you ready?
I think you can start doing everything but the buns.
Dun, 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 dun.
So if you want to do.
Okay, so we're gonna have our.
What you need.
Yeah. So we're gonna do one with our romaine, and we're gonna put that right here. And I love putting my red onion and the wonderful tomato right on the burger. Yeah, can you put it on there, please?
Right like that?
Yeah. Looks so good. And then what I do is put like 2 tablespoons, and you can do less if you don't want it that creamy. But that is what's called for in the recipe, is, you know, doing some of the Greek yogurt. And then I do basically a teaspoon of Dijon mustard. I'm really not a ketchup person anymore, and I find the flavors of this meld so beautifully that it's just so good. And then we're going to put some onion, we're going to put some tomato, and I'm going to put a little basil just directly right on there. And then, as you can see, doesn't that look pretty? Isn't that gorgeous? Oh, whoops, sliding. And then it's that sideways look. Does it every time. And then I'm going to fold this over and put it on top. So I've got my, you know, my sandwich all wrapped up. And then where our fries are here. And, you know, it's basically a half cup of the fries, right? So we're going to serve up.
I'll get that.
Reason why you got that going?
Yeah, because I put it for 2 hours a minute ago. Oh. So the other thing, you know, when I grill, I'm a big carré guy. So I don't know if you can see, but on the burger, there are little diamond shapes. And that's because when you turn it, you then turn it 60 degrees each time. And that does that great grilling technique.
So we're going to serve up our fries. I'm going to put a few more in there because it's they're not really fitting down in there because they're fries. But so we're going to serve that up right here. And then I'm going to have some of the tomato also served up. And where are we? Okay. So then we're going to serve up some more of that. And here we have a burger busting with flavor with our wonderful sweet potato fries and our salad with the red onion and the tomato. And here you have another healthy recipe served up on Livliga that these wild and crazy Sheila and Walt people have walked you through today. And someday I'll get one. I hope so. And so we're going to try it now. Are you coming over here so we can try it? So, ooh, look at your pretty. Oh, look at that. See the peaches? And they smell so good. There's something about grilling that brings out the sweetness in fruit, and it has a unique kind of grilled fruit. It smells like a peach, but it's different. It has a higher density of sweetness, kind of.
Right, sort of the caramelized.
Yeah.
Almost.
So, oh, thank you, Courtney. I'm glad you love the glasses. Oh, these glasses? Thank you. You know, I think they're drugstore specials, gotta tell you. But they're kind of a cute color, so thank you.
They're fun. I think they're great.
Okay,
I like
so,
them.
Walter, are you ready to try this?
Yes.
All right, here you go.
Oh, this looks
So you
serious.
have to do it in the camera so people can see you trying it out.
You ready?
Yeah.
What if it goes every place?
It's going to. Here, let me hold this for you.
Mmm.
What do you think?
It's great.
Is it good?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we actually already know it's good because we've done this before.
Yum. All
There
right.
you have it. So, thank you all. I don't know how long we've been going, but thank you all for joining us. We hope you'll come join us again next month. Next month we're going to be doing Walt's rubs. This man is known for his rubs. I'm telling you. And grilling. I know. I say things all the time that could be interpreted in a variety of ways.
It was scary where I could have gone.
Right?
But anyway, that's good. That's good.
Right. So we're going to kind of walk you through his rubs, and we're going to do some more grilling. I think maybe next month we might do a flank steak and might even talk about salmon, because salmon is tough to grill sometimes.
But
Walter
when you do it right, oh, it's so good.
Does it to perfection.
Well, let's
There's
hope.
nothing better in the summertime. So we're going to have fun with you all. It's June 26th. You know, we're at 5:30 Mountain Time.
So again, that's the fourth Tuesday of the month at 5:30
Yeah,
Mountain Time.
we're going to do it on the 26th. And so we'll see you then. And we thank you for joining us. And I'm so glad you had fun. And try out our recipes, pretty please. And enjoy it as part of your healthy lifestyle. And living it up with Livliga.
We love it.
So
good
take
to see
care,
you guys.
guys.
Thanks.
See you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Can you help?
Thanks.